My name's Delaney, and I have the honor of meeting some pretty cool people. These are the entrepreneurs, the artists, the creatives, the game changers that are making a positive impact in the people that they meet. And I'm a firm believer that the people that you meet can get you anywhere you want to go. And this show is my way of sharing them with you. It's my way of also helping you meet cool people. All right, what is up, my friends? Eli here, and today I want to have a little conversation about gratitude. Why is gratitude so important? This one's going to be a pretty short episode, and for the very big reason is that I know what I want to share with this, and I want to make sure that you have time to go out and take action on it, because the most important thing that you can do is learn something and actually do something with it. Knowledge itself isn't really all that powerful. Knowledge applied is powerful. And so with that said, I want to talk about gratitude today and why gratitude is so important, and some things that you can actually do that will help increase your life experience, I guess is a good way to put it, by paying more attention to gratitude. Okay. So just this last week, and literally as of yesterday morning, as of when I'm recording this, I dropped my daughter off at the airport. She had come and she spent a week with me. We went and checked out some downtown stuff. We had some good food. We went down to the Renaissance Fair down in Austin, or outside of Austin, actually. I got to go to the Painted Porch, which, if you know anything about Stoicism, Ryan Holiday wrote the Daily Stoic. He actually owns a bookstore down there, and I got to actually check that out. It was a really fun time. I had a really, really good time. And, I'm really grateful for that time. And I'm grateful for the clients who appreciate me, that were cool with like, hey, yeah, that, I explained to them I'm probably not going to get as much done this week because my daughter's coming to visit. They're like, okay, cool. They know that I bust my butt otherwise. And so they were cool with the whole situation, not even a question about it. This last week, while she came in here, and I actually had an in-person speaking event here in the DFW area, which went great, had a blast with it. And my daughter got to come, and she was there to support me, which was fun. She took some good pictures and, helps me out with all that kind of stuff. And then the next day I had a virtual speaking gig. And these are all things that I'm grateful for. I had the gratitude for the fact that I got to spend time with my daughter. I got to run my business. I got to do things that I love doing, which is speaking and sharing the, whatever nuggets of wisdom I can with other people. And it just made for an amazing week. And, I'm riding on a high from that right now, which is great. And stop and think about that. When cool things happen to you and you pay attention to the cool things, you just have a better day. I mean, that's just kind of the way it works. And so I want to back up a little bit here, because I wanted to share that with you so you can kind of hear where I'm coming from at this moment and why this topic is so relevant for me. But a few weeks back, a client of mine had come to me and said, okay, this is, I could use some advice on this. What do you do when life just seems to suck and you need to get going? And they just couldn't, it's like when you're so stressed out about life, however that looks. We've had all the crazy last 4 years, and I know, we've all had that. I've had definitely more than my fair share of stuff that happened over the last 4 years. And they came to me because they know that I'd put through a lot of stuff starting in 2020, and I always tell people COVID was the least of my problems. But they came to me and said, what do you do when you're just so stressed out, so you just can't find the motivation to even get out of bed? And part of it is a form of depression. And as soon as you can acknowledge that, that's a good thing. But I gave them the best thing that I have found for myself, which is gratitude. And so here's the exercise that I would love for you to do. And give this a try. See how it works for you. Okay. First thing in the morning, and I do mean first thing in the morning, write down 5 things that you're grateful for. Now, we've all heard, the importance of gratitude and writing down things you're grateful for and stuff like that. For me, I mean, I've known this and I've studied this stuff for years and I've done it, but what I found was, I don't know if you're familiar with Ryan Stewman. He runs an organization called Apex. And as a member of Apex, one of the things that he really talks about, he has a book called the G Code. And the G Code is a process that he does. And one of the pieces in the G Code is gratitude. And you write down 5 things you're grateful for. And the funny thing is that out of everything that I got from going through his programs and reading his books and all that kind of stuff, that 5 things was the thing that stuck with me. And the reason for it is not to talk about gratitude, but 5 things. Why 5 things? And after over 2 years of doing this, specifically 5 things every day, I realized the importance of it is because, number one, writing it down is important. You need to write it down because you need to visually see the words so they sink into your head. But you're going to have days where 5 things is really hard to come up with. Because we all have bad days. We have things that happen. And so the importance of 5 things is because of the fact that it makes your brain stretch. It's like an exercise. And it makes you think about, okay, what else do I have to be grateful for? Because 1 or 2 things, that's easy. But there are days where thinking of 5 things to be grateful for sucks. It's hard. I know there were days where I sat there for 15 minutes trying to come up with 5 things. And then I gave myself this, okay, wait a minute. These 5 things don't have to even be big things necessarily. They should be. I mean, if you can, yeah, talk about the big things. But they could be something as simple. There were days where and even to this day, I still have days where one of my 5 things is, the ability to have a good mocha. I mean, super simple things. If you have animals, for a long time when I had my boys, my dogs were on that list. And sadly, they passed away since then, and I don't have anybody there, now yet. But it could be your pets. It could be, a food that you have. It could be the fact that, you got a full freezer. Because, I'm sure that there's a lot of people listening to this that at least once in their life have been in that situation where that wasn't the case. And I know it has been for me. And so, like for me, I'll talk about my clients that appreciate me, friends that support me, family. Obviously, my daughter's on there quite a bit. She's on there almost every day. There are some days where something else happens to pop up for that specific day, but she comes back pretty quickly. Think about those 5 things. And for me, when I was going through the worst part of my life, those 5 things, starting that every day, it was hard as hell. But it helped me get in a better mood for the rest of the day. And if you stop and think about that, if you've practiced gratitude before, if you've ever gone through an exercise like this before, you realize that when you start thinking of those kind of things, the things that you are grateful for, and stop and pay attention as opposed to just taking them for granted, it puts you in a better mood. It puts you in a more motivated mood. You're more productive. And so why wouldn't it make sense to just start your day every day? Write down 5 things. It takes you 5 minutes, cool. It takes you 15 minutes, okay? You just struggled a little bit, but you got there. But never skip that. Write down your 5 things every day. Because I know for me, that's what helped get me through the day. I remembered the things that I was grateful for. I felt, at one point, I felt like there wasn't a lot to be happy about in life. I was going through a really, really, really rough time. And I started this exercise. I got consistent with the exercise. And doing it made the day better. And the more that I did it, the more consistent I got with it, the better things started turning out. And then, when something hit me and I fell off the bandwagon with it and I didn't do it for a while, I noticed myself kind of in a funk. And I had a harder time getting motivated to do all the things that I need to do. And so I'm like, okay, well, this worked before. We need to do it again. And I got back into it. And now I make a point every day, first thing in the morning, before I do anything else, I write down my 5 things, the 5 things I'm grateful for every day. So my challenge for you, try this exercise. It could be a notebook. It could be an app. I use Notion, the tech app, because I always, obviously, and we're in this world now where our phones are with us all the time. And so every day I actually have a kind of a calendar database inside of Notion. And I have it set up, and it has 4 different areas, and one of them is my gratitude. And that is the very first thing. That's the one thing that, like, sometimes I'll skip some of the other ones. There's a couple of them I skip a lot. But my gratitude is always the very first thing. I open it up. I write down my 5 things every day. So that is my challenge for you this week. Start this practice. Write down every morning, first thing, write down 5 things you're grateful for. And remember, they don't have to be huge. They could be small things too. And if you want to get some bonus points, if you got somebody in mind that happens to be on that list, let them know. Reach out to them and thank them. Say, hey, I just wanted to let you know I'm grateful for everything you've done for me. Because not only has that exercise and helped you, but I guarantee it's going to help them make their day better too. So I hope that was helpful. I would love it. Please, please, please let me know if you start doing this and how you feel, how it's working for you. Just reach out. You should know me by now. I'm pretty easy to get a hold of. But I would love to hear how this works for you. So with that, get out there. Have an amazing day. Look forward to talking to you soon. Take care.
And that wraps up another Meet Cool People show. Now, if you like what you heard, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, or review so I can help introduce these amazing cool people to even more amazing cool people. And just remember, meeting cool people is just the beginning. You need to have a system in place to follow up with the amazing people that you meet. This is exactly what we do for our clients. If you'd like to see if my team and I can help you, go to followuprockstar.com and check out the case study video to see exactly how we're helping our clients turn casual connections into cash clients for life. Again, go to followuprockstar.com and we'll see how we can work together to turn you into a follow-up rockstar.